I would like to start off this video by giving a disclaimer. This is not my normal content. I'm not a predator hunter. I do not have the mental fortitude, nor the mental maturity to deal with topics like this on a daily basis. Hell, I've been even trying to move away from drama topics, but I decided to make an exception for this person, because I've talked about them before. Camila Cuevas. You might remember her from the Hopeless Peaches drama. If you don't know what the Hopeless Peaches drama is, well, I have a whole playlist all about it that I'll link down below. And the first video in the playlist is covering what Camila did to Peaches. But I want to make this clear, that was just drama. A massive drama, but still drama. The things I'm going to be talking about in this video are far too serious to just be called drama. So what is Camila Cuevas mostly well known for? Well, it's her series, Glitch Tale. A decently animated series based off the video game Undertale. You might have heard of it. Now, the Undertale community does have a problem with predators. I know, I'm just as shocked as you are. A fan base mostly full of children has a predator problem. The predator in question is Veer, Camila's now ex-boyfriend, and a co-writer for Glitch Tale. While this situation is blowing up now, believe it or not, this was already covered by Crows of Judgment over 9 months ago. Holy shit. You can have a baby in that amount of time! But Crow's video wasn't the best, mainly because it wasn't done live, and he isn't that big, so very few people even heard about this. But after one of the victims of Veer, Crystal, released a long Twitter thread all about this, and made some of their own videos, the situation quickly blew up. Oranges made a video about this, Queen Sarah made a video about this, HarleyTBS did a video about this, and Oranges released a second video basically at the same time as Harley did. In Harley's video, he gave a shout out to my first video on Camila, so I think I have to return the favor. So I'll link it down below, along with all the other videos I have mentioned. And all of these videos seem to be doing pretty well. Camila Cuevas may have been able to get out of the Hopeless Peaches situation, who also did an absolutely massive video on this situation, but I really don't think she's gonna get out of this one scot-free. But before I say anything more about Camila Cuevas, I think I should go over the groomer in question, and that is Veer. Now, I understand that the word groomer is thrown around on the internet like it's candy. I want to be clear that this is not one of those instances of a 19-year-old dating a 17-year-old. Veer is currently 28, and he has allegedly been doing these actions since 2015, and most of the screenshots of his actions date back to 2019. And I want to make it clear that the minors were not 17-year-olds 5 days away from turning 18 or anything like that. They were as young as 16, 15, 14, and possibly even 13. Now, I do understand that the age of consent in America can range from 16 to 18 depending on what state you live in, and most other countries have way lower ages of consent than America does. Now, that being said, I don't care. And even then, in countries with low age of consent laws, they have other laws, like how in Japan the age of consent can range from 13 to 14. However, those who are above the age of 18 can't have coitus with them. But how do I know this actually happened? These could just be allegations. Well, A, there's a lot of screenshots proving it, and B, Veer admitted to it on a recorded call.
Let me simplify this. So she knew that you were a predator.
And she knew I'd hurt one person.
So she knew you were a predator.
Just, I guess so, for that person, yes.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Like, one person, 5 people, don't matter. If it's one person, you're still a predator in this situation, correct? So she knew that you were a predator, right?
Doesn't matter what I say.
Okay, that's weird. My point is that I think in any normal person's brain, once somebody's outed as a predator, the most normal reaction, like, you're not just a pedophile, you're a predator. You've crossed the line. A pedophile is somebody who just has these attractions, but they don't act upon them yet. You are the one who acted upon them and broke several laws, from what I'm understanding, right? So to me, right, if one of my fucking, not just ex-lover, friends was somebody like that, you're fucking gone, dude.
And the really sad thing is, he's not the only one. There are other predators in Camilla's server such as Artie-chan, who by the way was a moderator in Camilla's Discord, as well as Simon, or as other people know him, Polite Viking, who was an admin for Camilla. Veer, Artie, and Simon have all since been banned. Thank God. And there's possibly even more, but currently we don't have any more proof for those.
A quick editor's note, considering this was all recorded 2 months ago. Since then, more staff have been exposed for being inappropriate with minors. Raised Clock, a former admin, and Skater Bomber, also an ex-admin. Both of them have since been removed. Alright, but seriously, I need to ask, why is there so many people like this on Camilla's staff? Seriously. We're going to need a graph at this point.
Yes, there is indeed a reason why Discord mods have this reputation. Now, a lot of you are probably thinking, what does this have to do with Camilla? Yeah, it happened in her Discord, but according to her, she wasn't aware of this situation. Well, as I've established in a previous video, Camilla's not exactly the most honest of people. Remember how I said the evidence of Veer's actions date back all the way to 2015? Well, that was the same year when Camilla was made aware of his actions. Not only that, but Camilla also normalized this predator's behavior. Camilla greatly downplayed the actions of Veer, said that he changed and wouldn't do it again, and also said what's been done can't be undone. Basically saying, yeah, I know he groomed multiple minors, but it is what it is. But after people put enough pressure on Camilla, she finally banned him. Wow, good on you, Camilla, for doing the very basic act of kicking a predator from your Discord. I understand that might have been hard for you because they were your boyfriend. Well, you should have done the act sooner. At least you did it. So I guess we can end the video right here. Oh, hang on. There's a typo in my script. She let them back in after 5 months. According to Camilla herself, she let him back in, but only in a private chat, where only he and about 25 other people were. But she neglected to mention that 10 of those people were minors. Camilla did ban them a second time on October 14th, 2022, which was the same day Crystal's Twitter post calling her out dropped. So Camilla knew this guy was bad, and also bad for her PR, but she didn't do anything until she was called out. But at least she banned him for real this time, and will never do anything more with this groomer. Oh, she played League of Legends with him on November 1st, 2022. Not even a full month after she banned him the second time. Camilla, just before she did this, only 3 days before, was mocking people making videos about this on her Discord, saying things like LOL, which means she is laughing in response to the victims coming forward about this. Saying other things like, I endangered minors, I guess. Can't wait for the hour-long video essays on how terrible of a person I am. People are making videos on you because not only did you defend a groomer, but you also lied about doing it. Once a bad guy, always a bad guy. You had the chance to deal with this for years. You are not getting called out right now because you called people slurs in the past, or what you did to Peaches. If this was the only thing you did wrong, you would still be getting called out, and rightfully so. It doesn't matter to them if all he was doing here was sharing stories. Oh my god! Stop lying! He was grooming minors, not just sharing stories. And that makes me just as bad, or worse. No. He is worse for sure, but you gave him access to minors. You assisted him in what he did, and that is why you are getting called out. She then says her next video will be bait for everyone to leave hate comments under, then delete it later. It also will be in Spanish. So she thinks she will get away with this, but I don't think she knows how much trouble she will be in. Also, at one point she locked her Twitter. Based. It's also strange that at the same time all of this was happening, she was having real-life problems with her family. Now, I want to make it clear, she might really be having problems with her family, but at the same time, the timing works out a little too well. So please, take this point with a grain of salt and don't go after her for it. But also don't forget that she put children in harm's way. Camilla made an apology that would have been good if she didn't lie. And keep in mind, she made this post after doubling down twice. More specifically, she made the apology post after Queen Sarah showed that she lied about everything. And Peaches exposed her for the aforementioned Discord messages, where she mocked those who had a problem with her putting kids in danger. At the end of the day, Camila has made the move to apologize, in big quotation marks, because she was caught, not because she was actually sorry for what she's done. Now, it might be worth mentioning that I'm in a different room today. Or a cave, for that matter. There's absolutely no reason for me being here. Oh.
Yeah, you're in my place, Jar, and I don't recall inviting you here.
Aren't you the one editing this, though?
Oh yeah, I apparently am editing this whole thing. Okay, you can stay. Anyways, as previously mentioned, I made a video going into detail in cooperation with Crystal. Camila made 2 statements on the matter where she non-stop lied, tried to put blame on Crystal to deflect, and used another one of Veer's victims as a shield. She also misrepresented an entire conversation she had with Hopeless Peaches. In this conversation, Camila attempted to lie to Peaches directly, and it didn't work out too well. Camila took to her second statement trying to say that Peaches didn't want her side of the story at all. In case you haven't noticed yet, there's a running theme with Camila where she makes statements about the situation that are 100% bullshit and she just hopes that you don't look at the evidence at all. It's all out there in my video and Peaches' video. At this point, Camila is just banking on the fact that many people in her audience have no idea of what she's done because she has non-stop lied about the situation, including in her apology, which we will go over in a moment. If you'd like to see her statements comprehensively broken down, the link for that is in the description. But I am here today to go over her amazing apology, because the more I read it, the more I want to bash my head against the wall. So let's begin.
I'm not looking for an excuse or an explanation. I just wanted to tell the truth behind my actions. To those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, to put it briefly, Veer, the person I had been working on to write parts of the story I made for my animations, has been confirmed to have groomed minors some years ago. I was oblivious to this fact and to how disgusting it all was until last year. When I learned about it, I took action and removed him entirely from the community. Sometime later, I had been told by one of the people he lived with that he had attempted against his life. This shook me to the core, and it made me feel guilty and responsible for it. He kept saying how I'm basically the only reason he was alive, and how nothing had meaning anymore now that he wasn't able to interact with anyone, and how depressed and miserable he was. And I felt obligated to do something about it, and I made a mistake. In pity, I allowed him back into a chat where some close friends of ours were, something I shouldn't have done. I know this made some of the victims feel like I didn't care about them, and I deeply apologize for that. I acted out of fear as I legitimately thought he'd go through with another attempt if I couldn't do something to help him feel better. At this point, I still thought he was a good friend I made him out to be. I allowed my emotions to get the best of me in my actions this year, and I have no excuse for it.
There's a lot of issues that I have with this part here. The main problem being that Camila was aware years ago that Veer was a sick degenerate towards kids. Veer would talk in this chat that Camila was a part of about his wonderful fantasies around kids as young as 14 years old. People were thinking I was too harsh on Camila in my video, but I don't believe so. The reason why I believe people should be harsher on Camila is her non-stop lying and the fact that she refuses to address the specific evidence against her. She has acknowledged that these Skype chats occurred along with being aware of Veer's actions with people I will not name. Camila is not being open about this, and I don't understand why. Look, if you were manipulated by Veer to an extent, I'll give you that, Camila, but the fact that you doubled down on your lies, and then now you admit to some of it but not all of it after you were exposed, tells me that this isn't good enough.
It wasn't until a few days ago that I realized how little I mattered to him, or at least that's how I felt. I thought that since he knew my mistakes stemmed from trying to help him, the situation would at least prompt him to come out and say the truth, that he's the one responsible for all these acts. He's been emotionally manipulating me and just hiding behind me so I'd receive all the bullets for him. But that never happened. I thought that he'd come out and own up to it all, to clear things up in public, fully knowing how complicated my situation is in real life right now, and fully knowing how much this was affecting me physically and emotionally. I took too long to realize that that is not what a friend would do, and it took me longer to accept that he wasn't one. For that, I also apologize to anyone who I upset with my actions. It was never my intention to hide this or shove it under the rug, much less enable it or allow it to happen. I was just scared for the life of someone who I thought was my best friend. I was frustrated and upset when videos started to come up and made me say things I shouldn't have said. Back when Crystal brought it up, I failed to grasp how serious the situation was, and it wasn't until a close friend of mine gave me more details about what had happened and I realized how disgusting his actions were.
Despite everything that you claim here with being manipulated by Veer, you are an adult who made the conscious decision for years, not just this year as you've stated, to date and allow an offending pedophile in your circles. Camila, you did sweep it under the rug. You lied to the public and your young, impressionable audience twice, and you knew it. It took Peaches and I tearing into your lies to get you to speak up like this. Don't even try to say it wasn't your intention. It was. You knew exactly what you were doing, and the evidence is undeniable.
I'm not looking for pity, just for a little understanding, in that I didn't intend to act ill-intended to anyone this year as a whole has been incredibly difficult for me in real life, and it has heavily affected my decision making.
I also find it hard to believe that you aren't looking for pity. You've gone on and on about how Veer manipulated you, when that is ultimately irrelevant to what you've done. You made the choice to lie to everyone. You made the choice to victim blame Crystal on numerous occasions. You made the choice to mock people who criticized you for endangering minors. This is your fault. You're throwing a pity party because you were caught. No amount of Veer manipulated me is going to change that.
I made mistakes and they took me too long to realize for myself, putting others at risk. I'm just here to own up to them and properly apologize because I know that it means a lot to those affected by it. Even in more recent screenshots of a private chat I was having with my friends that were leaked where I made comments in poor taste out of frustration and trying to pretend I was doing it all for a friend that just wasn't there for me. These comments don't reflect my current intentions and I also apologize for them. As of now, Veer is no longer in my life, nor is he associated with me and my work anymore in any way.
Now this, ladies and gentlemen, is my biggest problem with her apology. Notice how she continues to skirt a lot of the details here. It's almost like she doesn't want to admit to it all. Again, if you saw me break down her two previous statements on the matter, you'd know that there is a lot more to speak for here. For example, you could clarify everything that you lied about in your other statements, like how you misrepresented the entire conversation with Peaches to save your own ass. Once again, this is not good enough. Being this purposefully vague with your audience is unacceptable. But oh look, you mentioned the leaked screenshots from your chat. Hey Camila, could you tell your audience about what you said specifically, and the fact that your mind magically changed about everything once you were caught? It would be wonderful if Camila could just be honest for once. Either way, fuck this apology, and I hope everyone that feels sympathy for you in the comments will figure out the truth. Many people know what you've done. It's only a matter of time before more people figure it out. Either way, that's all I have to say on this matter, because Camila will continue to dig herself a hole because that's what she's been doing for the past 2 months. I would like to thank Jar for letting me come on and do my thing, because I've worked non-stop to help Crystal at every turn I could. And now I watch the floodgates open as people understand the truth about this whole shit show.
Camila is someone who I quite frankly thought I would never talk about on my channel again. And honestly, I really was just thinking about skipping over this whole situation because a ton of other people have already talked about it. But a lot of them, not saying names here, treated the situation like it was just another drama video, and they seemed to really downplay Camila's actions and accept her apology. I understand a lot of them didn't have the full story, and neither did I. That's why I asked Queen Sarah to help me out with this video. But if you want to see a video from someone who does know the full story and shows all the context, then I highly recommend checking out Hopeless Peach's video. This video you're watching now is basically just an abridged version of it. And I do hope that this situation finally goes mainstream and some of the bigger commentators talk about it. Unfortunately, a lot of those bigger commentators have been cancelled, but that's a video for another time.